Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where this time we're going to be talking about Dark Empire, the legendary 6-issue run from the 90s created by Tom Veitch and illustrated by Cam Kennedy. Now these were legendary when they came out because this was a time before the prequels, before really a whole lot of Star Wars existed outside of what we had in the original trilogy. This was part of that original run of expanded universe stories. And this story is kind of crazy and far-fetched, but when you look at what they did with the concept of Palpatine cloning himself in The Rise of Skywalker, they did borrow heavily from the ideas seated in Dark Empire, but Dark Empire did it better. I think having the younger Palpatine clones that are actually not withered away and decrepit, that can actually go out and fight and be formidable opponents, makes the stakes a lot higher. But even with Palpatine returning, the main star of this storyline is Luke, because Luke actually turns to the dark side. He joins Palpatine. And although Luke had planned on trying to defeat the Emperor from the inside by becoming his apprentice, and trying to save the Rebel Alliance as well as his friends in that moment, it does become difficult for Luke to truly escape the Emperor's grasp. In a way, this is like the alternate ending of Return of the Jedi, where Luke doesn't throw the lightsaber away and he does fall to the dark side. But in this story, we do get the moment of Leia appealing to the good inside of Luke, bringing him back all the way, and them working together to defeat the Emperor once and for all. So you can definitely see the parallels to Rey and Kylo in The Rise of Skywalker as they defeat the clone Emperor. And the thing about Dark Empire trilogy is that it is kind of divisive amongst fans. I will say I personally found it enjoyable, but I do understand it is a little bit out there. The concept of bringing the Emperor back, even back then, was kind of cheesy. Even though it was new Star Wars and it was something people were excited for, looking back, the story kind of is a little bit off-putting. And I don't think it ever quite reached the level of endearment that similar stories from the time period have today with fans, such as the Heir to the Empire series or even the Shadows of the Empire series. I think those stories had a lot more memorable characters and really progressed the main cast in a way that Dark Empire kind of undoes a lot of Luke Skywalker's development by having him, become Palpatine's pawn, essentially. And again, the one thing, and this even goes back to how I feel about The Rise of Skywalker, the one thing that I don't like about Palpatine coming back in any form, in any story that they have brought Palpatine back after his death on the second Death Star, is that it undoes the sacrifice of Anakin Skywalker. You can argue that Palpatine would have a contingency plan. The smartest, most cunning Sith, arguably of all time, would probably have some type of contingency in place. But I'm not sure that this was a story that necessarily needed to be told. It doesn't add a ton to the lore, even at that time, with the lore being kind of flimsy with the expanded universe and all these different stories coming out. I think the biggest development from it is seeing Leia progress as a Jedi and show that she is learning the ways of the Force and she is following in Luke's footsteps. I do really like what they do with her character in this, as well as having Luke and Lando team up and start the story off by them going on a mission. I think is really cool, and they kind of call back to that in the sequels. In The Rise of Skywalker, we find out Luke and Lando were working together on Pisana. So that's really cool. Overall, it's an interesting read. I don't think it's necessary to really appreciate the expanded universe. I do think there are a lot stronger stories out there. But if you haven't checked out Dark Empire, it is fun, it is different, and if you read it with the understanding of being in an era with not a lot of new Star Wars in the early 90s, you can understand why people were excited for it more so at the time. So that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out when a new video drops. Leave a comment below with your memories and your thoughts about Dark Empire, and would you recommend it to a new Star Wars fan? Consider becoming a channel member as well to get early access to the videos as well as exclusive badges. With that being said, may the Force be with you. Now let's blow up that like button and go home.